Hello, gorgeous women. I'm super excited to be here, ready for day 2. Let me plug myself in. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to rock this? Day 2 of Success Stripped Bare. It's time to create your first 5 to 10K months and beyond in absolute fabulousness, freedom, and flow. Faye, gorgeous Faye, hello. It's lovely to see you here this morning. If you haven't watched day 1 yet, don't go watch it now, but it is in the group and it is on the page. So make sure you go back and find it. We jumped into some really important stuff yesterday in terms of really making the full commitment. And today, who else is on? Say hello. I'm going to give you people a couple of minutes to hop on and join me. But today we are diving into making the leap from invisible to seen and selling with ease. So today's conversation is really both around the mindset of becoming more visible. It's about the mindset of posting and sharing your message and taking the action, as well as a bit of the strategy, because how do you want to get your message out there? How do you want to be seen? What is the right way for you? What is really that soul aligned way for you? Anna, lovely to see you here as well. Clara, mwah, fabulous that you're all joining me. I hope that you're feeling amazing today and that you are really rocking it and boom, committed. So fabulous. So shall we dive in? Are you ready? Have you got pen and paper? Because I want you to make some notes if you can. And you're hold on, I've got a hair stuck on my lip. Pen and paper so you can make some notes. If you're watching the replay back, say hello, type in replay, put in your questions, because I always do go back and take a look at them. And if you're watching live with me now, like these fabulous people, then please do let me know. Tell me what you're thinking about as we go. Bev, lovely to see you here as well. Fabulous. Shall we dive into day 2? Okay, so making the leap from invisible to seen and selling with ease. It's actually a whole program in itself. Right? There is so much that we could talk about today. So the place that I want to start with this is it's very easy. When you're starting out in your business, the mistake that lots of people make, but they very soon get past it, is, okay, I'm ready, I've done the training, I've had this business idea, I'm going to start this business. Maybe you start a website, maybe you set up a Facebook page, then you expect some clients or something and nothing happens, and it feels a bit like the world might not be listening. You start posting on your page, you start taking a bit of action, you start telling people about your business, and they're very polite and like, oh wow, that's amazing, well done. But no one's saying, oh wow, hell yes, come and help me, I need your help, like how can I pay you? Like, yes, I want you in my life now. And so we can suddenly feel a bit disempowered and a bit disorientated and a little bit like, oh shit, well, what now? What am I going to do now? I started my business, how do I find these clients? And so then as you grow, you know that you need to start posting more. You need to start showing up. You need to start sharing your message. I'm sure you've heard it a million trillion times all over Facebook and wherever else you might be. And so you'll make a commitment to yourself. We talked about commitments yesterday, and you'll be like, yes, I'm going to post. I'm going to create this content. I'm going to post stuff. I'm going to make sure that I'm out there and I'm telling people about what I do. And you do it for a while. And then it feels like no one's listening. Maybe you don't get any likes on it. Maybe you don't get any comments on it. Maybe you're just like, oh my God, I'm putting in this effort to write this stuff or to create this content, and no one's really taking any notice of it. And it can really shake you, because you're like, well, why? And then it's very easy to start judging yourself. So that is one of the ways that we can sabotage ourselves from day 1, because we don't start getting the results that we want straight away. We tell ourselves this isn't working. We stop doing it. We lose the momentum and flow. The other thing is that we can feel like we need to be showing up in a certain way, because maybe we've seen those successful people and how they show up, and maybe they're on the beach or have fabulous backgrounds and they're all groomed and perfect, or they're stood outside in front of the Eiffel Tower and they've got the camera crew and everything, and we're like, gosh, like I want to do videos and I want to do this, but I just don't have the resources to be able to show up in that way, and I want it to look groomed and I want it to look good. So again, we put a block in our way, and we tell ourselves, well, I can't have that yet, so I just won't do it. And then the third way is that we put on a mask for ourselves because we feel like we're not actually good enough and we need to show up differently to who we truly are, because that's when people will actually want to work with us. If they know who we really are, then no one would be interested. Who's felt that before? So I want you to tell me, of those different scenarios, or there might be another one that I haven't mentioned, which is the one that can come up and stop you from being visible and being consistent with your visibility and doing it with more ease. So maybe you're being pretty good at being visible, maybe you're doing it quite consistently, but maybe it actually still feels really difficult. So I'd love you to tell me, because lots of you are on. We've had lots of new people join. So say hi if you're joining. Orla, welcome Orla, lovely to see you. Suzanne Wells, lovely. Faye, gorgeous to see you. Lucy, fabulous to see you. Oh my gosh, so many beautiful people alive with me. Mwah! Love you all. Okay, so tell me, which is the one for you? Which is it for you that gets in the way and feels like it blocks you from being more visible and being consistent with that visibility? Is it that you feel like no one's watching, so it's a bit like, oh God, what's the point? I'm wasting my time here. Is it that you worry that you're not good enough and you feel like you need to almost put on that mask and be a better version of yourself for people to take notice? Is it that you think you want it to look a certain way, you want it to be perfect, and because it's not, you therefore don't do it? Is it that you're afraid of that judgment? What will people say? What will people think? I might, all that kind of self-doubt that can come in. Which is it for you? Which is the thing that can really block you? Faye, so not being consistent. Okay, and what's beneath the not being consistent? Because we know, like we all know, we need to be visible in our business, right? And we all know we need to be consistent with that visibility. However, there's actually very few people who have that consistency and keep up that visibility. So the question is why? Because everyone will say, well, hell yes, I want to grow my business. Hell yes, I want more clients. So yes, I know I need to be visible. Yes, I know I need to be consistent. So why does it not happen? What sabotages that? That's what I want to know. Because that's the key, right? It's one thing to keep telling yourself, well, I need to be more consistent. I need to be more consistent. But why is that consistency not happening? Because you know absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, that it's really important. You know that that's the thing that's going to make the difference. So why isn't it happening? We need to look under the covers. We need to take our head out of the sand so that we can really, truly see it, so we can change it. That awareness is key, right? So what have we got? Feeling like I have to put in too much effort in order to look good enough for the videos. Yes, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Not sure how often, so don't want to be in people's faces too much, though I know they don't have to watch it. Yes, so it's that judgment of I don't want to be there too often. How often is too often? How often is annoying, right? But absolutely, you've said it yourself, that people don't have to watch it. Absolutely. And actually, of all the content you put out there, people will not see all of it. Because of Facebook algorithms and all the rest of it, actually people are probably only seeing a small percentage of what you're putting out. So therefore it's okay to put loads out, because the chances are most people won't see lots of it. Orla, what have you put? I often feel like I'm talking to myself, doubting yourself. Yes, so because there's not people online, because our people aren't listening, then you doubt yourself. You're like, well, why not? Is what I'm saying not valid enough? Is it not good enough? Do I need to be doing it in a different way? What's wrong with how I'm showing up and what I'm saying? Yes, and that's not the thing. So this is what's really important to know. What you say there, Orla, and I said it at the beginning as well myself, that is a place that everyone experiences at some point. Everybody experiences it. And the truth is, it is not about what you are sharing, although I'm going to contradict myself around that in a moment when I go into a bit of the content that I planned today. Because health and nutrition science is so controversial, I worry about someone criticizing my opinion. Aha, makes so much sense. And I don't like the conflict. So I stay a bit vanilla rather than being polarizing. Oh, there's so much juice in that. I have clear beliefs, but worry about being questions on my stance. Bev, I love that. That is so powerful. And you know what you need to do, right? Because that controversy is key, and it is absolutely by not being vanilla that you are going to attract your tribe. And yes, it can feel scary, because I agree, I don't like conflict either, right? Lots of us don't like conflict, and so we try and keep ourselves safe. But actually, the way to get that traction, and again, I'm going to talk about this in a moment, is by be the strong flavor. People love you or hate you. Allow yourself, and it's a process. It's a process to get there, but you can start now. A mixture of messing up, perfection, excuses of being interrupted midway. Oh my gosh, was it yesterday? When was I on live? And my little girl came in. Oh, it was Sunday on a training that I was doing. So yes, those interruptions can happen. They're part of life. We don't need to worry about it. Lack of responses. Am I talking to myself? Is anyone listening? Not feel the content is worthy. Always feel, Kat, nice to see you, Kat. Always feel you need validation, but I need to stop worrying about what everyone else is thinking. Yes, yes, yes. Also normal. And have you noticed as you're listening to other people's comments, are everyone saying the same thing as you? So it's not just you that has this concern. It's everyone. It's across the board. It's a total normal worry when you're starting to think about being visible and being consistent with your visibility. So first thing to know is take a deep breath. It's normal. And if it's normal, it means you get to choose, which is fabulous. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's not because, oh my God, I'm thinking these things, it must just be me. No, everyone is the same boat. It is totally normal because we're all freaking human. So that's good, right? That's good to know. My first question to you is, how fully are you currently showing up in your business? How fully are you currently showing up in your business? And that includes things like whether you're being vanilla or speaking your truth. It means whether you're allowing yourself to go live, to do the things, or whether you keep blocking yourself and putting excuses or roadblocks in the way. It's whether you are believing in what you do. It's whether you're being consistent. So if you're giving yourself a mark out of 10, 10 is like, boom, I'm freaking amazing. I am all over. I'm showing up absolutely 100% fully in my business. You're a 10. If you're like, not at all, it's all just inside my head right now, what's going on with my hair here? I haven't taken any actual action, then you're a 1. Where are you on that? And this is not a place of judgment. This isn't like, shit, I'm only at, oh yeah, I'm going to put this. Like, honestly, where do you think you're at? Because again, that transparency, that awareness is what helps create the change. So pop in the comments. Where are you currently in terms of how fully you are currently showing up in your business? Let me see them. It was Sunday, Faye, and it was lovely. Yes, okay, because that's the other thing, right? We can judge and we can worry about, oh my gosh, well, you know, if I'm doing it in this way, if my daughter walks in, oh my gosh, I'm trying to do a training with all my children in my house. What if they interrupt me? What will people think? People will think I'm unprofessional. Blah, blah, blah. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is, well, hell, it's important for everyone to know that I'm as human as you are. We're all human. Children in the background is a normal part of growing a business. It's actually part of my why for growing my business, because I want to be flexible. I want to be able to do things with the kids, not working a 9-to-5 job. So therefore, isn't it totally okay that they might hop in occasionally and say, hi, I'll come to people? Yes. And actually, isn't that more freeing for people? So I actually really, truly believe that the more human we are, the more that we can create transformations for other people. Because the more that we show up in this forced, fake, mask way, the more we are buying into this belief of successful people do things a certain way, or to make X amount of money, you need to be doing this. And it's this like non-humanness, it's this perfectionist, this mask, it's this fakery, all this fakery. And I am not a fan of the fakery, right? So we want to be the change makers who pull all of this back, right? And we show people that yes, absolutely, you can have a 20k a month business, a 30k a month business, and be at home and your kids hop in, and like, it's all part of life. And there is no need for that mask. We can be more us. And I truly believe that the more ourselves that we are in our business, the more that our business absolutely flows, and the more and more that we get the results that we want, because we stop putting those roadblocks in the way. We stop making it really difficult for ourselves, because it's not like, oh well, I've got to have my makeup right, and I've got to have nice scenery, and I've got to have planned what I'm saying, and I've got to feel confident about this, and I've got to feel clear. No, like when we rip all of that back, when we just show up raw, real as ourselves, there are no blocks. So it becomes easy, and then that consistency is so much easier, because then you can be anywhere, doing anything, looking anyway, and you can literally press go live, and you can go, hey, nice to see you today. Share whatever it is that's on your mind, what experience you've just had, whatever you've just thought about. Like, boom, you've been consistent, you've been visible, you've showed up, you've made a difference, and that's going to move you forwards. Isn't that easier? I'm sorry, my earrings are tingling on my thing. Can you hear them? Do you want me to take them out? Tell me if it's annoying you. I'll take them out if it is. Okay, what numbers have you got? 4, 4, 5, 5, 4. 7 or 8. Boom. That's good. But the last 2 points is holding me back so much. Yes. Okay. 4 or 5. Nikki, nice to see you, Nikki. Amanda, lovely to see you, Amanda. Oh my gosh, gorgeous people on here live with me. Darcy will be doing Facebook Live soon. Darcy is already doing YouTube videos. She loves them. It's absolutely hilarious. And the other day I caught her in her bedroom with my phone doing she was videoing it, doing a little live like I do. It's gorgeous. Okay, so you know, if it's a 4, if it's a 5, even if it's a 7 or an 8, you know it could be more, right? So what is it really that's holding you back? What is it really that's stopping you? So you might say it's consistency, but there's something beneath that consistency. If you gave yourself permission to show up fully as yourself, if you gave yourself permission to believe that you are good enough, just as you, that you can show up in your power, being you, because you are here for a reason, right? You are here for a reason. You have got, whether you're aware of it or not yet, you have got a message inside of you. You have got a purpose to live into on this planet, and it is already there. So it's inside of you, it is not outside of you. So you do not need to be anyone else, show up in a different way, put any of those roadblocks in place, because you are perfectly you right now, and the world needs to hear your message. And the only way that the world is going to hear your message is by showing up now. It's by sharing it now, because the more that you show up, the easier it becomes. The more it becomes your new normal, and the less it becomes this big deal that you need to think about, so that you literally can go live, go live, go live. There's no, and I am talking about going live here, but actually that visibility is so many different things, right? Visibility is, yes, it's certainly visibility on social media, and that's certainly one that I massively use in my business, because it's so easy and because it's so available. It's because it's free, right? It's so easily accessible to us all. It's amazing. But there are so many other ways that we can be visible. You know, it's post it. It's like getting a column in the local paper. It's going to the local I can't even remember the name, radio stations, and just saying, hey, like, I want to come and talk about this. Little tiny radio stations are desperate for people to fill their slots all the time. Like, get in touch with these people. It's doing the little workshop. It's creating the meetup groups. There are hundreds of ways that you can be visible. And this is, by the way, I actually created notes for today, and they've gone. I don't know where I am. But this is one of the points that I wanted to talk about. Really think about how you want to be visible. When you think about the content that you consume, how do you enjoy consuming content? I want you to tell me this. So again, pop it in the comments for me, because I really would love to know. So are you like a podcaster? Do you love listening to podcasts? Do you put them in your ears and go? Do you love listening to the Facebook Lives? That's my favorite way, by the way, which is one reason why I love doing Facebook Lives. I love listening to Facebook Lives. I love watching training that's on my phone. I can go, and I really like being able to watch the person, not just listen to the person. So that for me is my absolutely top way that I love consuming content. Do you love having Audible in your ear and just listening to those recordings? Or maybe you love reading blogs. Maybe you love to read, so it's books, it's blogs, it's things like that. What is it for you? And is it longer things that you like, or is it shorter things that you like? Do you like those kind of half an hour trainings where you can really get into it, or do you like the short, snappy, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like boom, 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 and we're gone? Do you like the big, long blog posts that you can read and you can really get into, or do you like the quick, snappy little quotes or whatever? What do you like? So tell me. I'm waiting for them to come through. Tell me. So we've got Bev saying podcasts and lives. Okay, awesome. Suzanne saying lives. What about the rest of you? Tell me, how do you love to consume that content? Because it gives you a little bit of an idea on 2 levels, right? Because if you love to consume content in that way, the chances are that's going to be your natural way to also create content. It might feel difficult at the moment because maybe you haven't done it yet. So maybe let's say that you love listening to podcasts. You love it. You listen to them all the time and you're just like, yes, totally in the moment. You just love being in the flow with that. But perhaps you've never created your own podcast and it feels like, oh, that's a big thing to do. I've got no idea how, like, where do I even begin? It's outside of your comfort zone, right? So it's going to feel a bit difficult. There's going to feel like there's a couple of hurdles. You'll probably get a little bit caught up in the how potentially, But I want you to imagine for a moment, if you got past that and you were in the place where you'd already done like 100 podcasts of your own, how would that feel? How would you feel to have your own podcast that was really easy to get on, where you could share, where you could talk, where you could bring on other experts, it could look exactly the way that you like to consume it? How would that feel? Because very often it's a reflection. How we love to consume content is normally a reflection of how we like to create content. But sometimes we haven't gone down that route yet, so we don't know yet. We haven't experienced it yet. So we start thinking about this a little bit. And how would it feel if you started consuming the kind of if you started creating, the kind of content that you love to consume? Let's see what else you've got. Quick, snappy quotes, lives, love to write, Facebook lives and listen to audiobooks, lives and videos. I need to see that in person as well. Otherwise, I only listen to podcasts. I can find myself thinking about other things. So the deep dive trainings, mix of everything. Yes. Facebook lives as well. Awesome. So you know what you love to consume. So the first thing is that often it's a reflection. The second thing is that very, very often, it's not always the case, but very often in these kind of heart-centered, purpose-driven businesses, we are a version of the person that we help. So our ideal client, our soul client, is a past version of ourselves. We've been through it, we've experienced it. Because we've experienced it, we're like, hell, we don't want to go there again. And we found a solution to get out of it. And so we want to help other people get out of that space because, one, we know how to, and two, we know how painful it can be. And we don't want people to stay stuck in that place. So quite often our soul clients are a past version of ourselves. Well, if they're a past version of ourselves, they're probably going to really enjoy consuming content in the same way that we did or do. And so you're looking at this on two levels, both how you're really soul aligned to create content and also how your soul clients are really aligned to consume content, right? So it's like, boom, the best of both worlds. Are you with me? Are you with me? So if this is the case, does it feel like it's the case for you? While you're thinking about this, is anything coming up, any new ideas or any new thoughts? You're like, yes, actually, it's worth looking at this. It's worth trying this. I want to really do this. I want to know. Share it with me. Facebook Lives, Pinterest, reading content and websites. Fabulous. Okay. Let's talk about that mask for a moment, okay? Because it is very, very easy to put on a mask without even realize we're doing it. And that mask can take on many forms, right? That mask can be, oh, I have to look a certain way. That mask can also be, I need to show up in a certain way. That mask can also be, I need to behave in a certain way. It can take many, many forms. And it is the biggest way that we sabotage ourselves, because the moment we stop showing up as ourselves is the moment we make it difficult to show up and difficult to be visible and very difficult to be consistent. Because isn't it true that when you're trying to be something you're not, one, it feels out of alignment and icky. It takes so much more energy and it's so much easier to go back into that judgment even more so. Let me have a quick sip of coffee. I'm talking too fast again. Do you like my mug, by the way? I bought this yesterday from Starbucks. You all know, you probably know. I'm a massive Starbucks fan. I'm like the Starbucks girl. I have my Starbucks coffee every day. And at the weekend, I was like, you know what? I'm throwing away way too many cardboard Starbucks cups and plastics. I need to take more care of this planet. So they're just a bit hard to drink out of. Right, where have we got to? Okay, you're going to look at podcasts. Love that, Faye. Fabulous. So wearing this mask, at the moment, is there any part of you that is wearing a mask? And this mask can come in the form of internal rules as well. So those rules that you put on yourself in terms of, I need this before I can do this. So it might be, I need to put makeup on before I can do a live. Now you can see, I've put my earrings on. I put a little bit of lipstick on. We're not saying don't do it. It's okay it's okay to dress up, but there's a really big difference between doing it out of scarcity or doing it from a place of abundance. Doing it because, like, why the hell not? It just feels good, versus I have to look this way to be able to show up in this way. The same as I have to plan all of my content before I can go live. One of the best things I ever did, and this is going back a couple of years in my business, is I made myself do 30 days live. And I actually did it again at the beginning of this year because I was like, oh, I'm not being very visible. I feel like I'm hiding again. I need to give myself that push. It's something that I talk to with my clients. It's something that I recommend. It's something that my masterminders, so at the moment I've got new masterminders join up the mastermind. It's going to be amazing. Mastermind 2.0. If you're interested in joining me, send me a message, because actually the places are filling up really, really quickly. But that's not what, sorry, I've totally got off track. That's not what I was saying. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, the challenge, right? Give yourself a challenge. Give yourself a challenge, because it's a brilliant way to create that consistency, to make it your new normal. Doing something like 30 days Facebook Live is a brilliant way of keeping yourself accountable and really making it happen. And it gets you used to just having to show up, right? Because it's like, shit, I haven't done it today. I need to do it. I just need to do it. And I'll tell you what, there have been days when I was on my little 30 days of Facebook Live journey, and actually plenty of days since, where I've pressed go live and I haven't had a clue what I'm going to talk about. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go live, and I'm going to trust that a message will come through me. And you know what? Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay, because actually the more we just practice doing that, the more it's like a muscle that we build in the gym. The more we do it, the stronger it gets, the easier it becomes to lift that weight. Right, so what are those rules that you put into place? Write some of them down. What are the rules that you might be putting into place? So we've got things like, oh, hold on, I don't understand some of the comments because they were putting, didn't they have a bigger one? Oh, that's the biggest. Yes, you do like a set. Yes, Sam's just had this challenge sent her way, so yes. Kat, I feel like I need to be prepared to show myself a certain way, but I look at others in my business and they just jump on. I don't find I have the confidence or knowledge just to jump on. Yes, and that is something that your ego is telling you to hold you back and keep you in your comfort zone. So I personally find it really, really, the way that I like to separate this. So I separate these two parts of myself into my ego and into my higher self. That's what they are. My ego, your ego, is a little voice in your head that whispers to you things like, you can't do this, you're not ready, you're not good enough, what if you'll fail? What will people think? Like it's full of all that BS that keeps you in your comfort zone, that stops you from taking that action, that stops you living your purpose and getting your message out there. It stops you from shining your light as brightly as you can. Your higher self is the opposite of that. Your higher self is the true you. Your higher self is the version of you without the rules, without the limiting beliefs, without any of the limitations that have been put on you. Your higher self is a true, pure, highest vibration of you that is capable of anything, that sees life as totally limitless, that knows that you are absolutely perfect in all of your imperfections, that you have everything within you now, that you are more than ready, that now is the time, and that you are here for a bigger reason. Because when you think that the higher version of you is that place that's really tapped into that, think of all the miracles that took place for you to be here now. Think of all those miracles. It's actually impossible in a way. So therefore, anything is possible. And you are perfect and you are ready. So split it into those two parts of yourself, right? So when you have those thoughts of, I don't have the confidence, I don't have the knowledge, I don't know what I'm going to say, I'm scared of looking daft, what will people think? It's like, aha, ego, I hear you, I know what you're saying, and I recognize that you're doing this to keep me safe. I recognize that you're doing this from a place of love because you don't want me to make a fool of myself. You're worried about me. So thank you. I appreciate your love and care. However, I am ready to do this because I am perfect in my imperfections, and the world needs to hear my message. And even though I might not have ever even shared it before, I have something to give. I have something to say, even if I don't even know what the hell that is right now, right? And because that, we believe that confidence is built. It's like, I need confidence and then I'll do it. But it's the other way around, right? We build our confidence by doing the thing. When you're a child, when you first learn to do things like go to the toilet, brush your teeth, have a bath, brush your hair, like all those simple things, children don't really know the idea of confident versus not confident when they're really young, but what they do know is that it feels difficult. The first time you brush your teeth, it's difficult, it's icky. You can see, like, you know, Darcy still even now is it's a bit awkward as she's trying to brush her teeth. Really, she hasn't got that confidence just because she hasn't done it enough, and the confidence will grow. And the same goes with whether you're writing a blog, whether you're doing a Facebook Live, whether you're running a meetup, whether you're speaking on stage, whether you're writing a book, whatever it might be, you build the confidence as you go. And the best way, so the secret, and I mentioned this yesterday slightly, the secret is in what version of you choose to show up in. And this is partly a conversation about the law of attraction, right? Because where we're living today is a reflection of who we were yesterday. And we don't want to stay living in that reflection. What we want to do is we want to leap forward into the future version of ourselves. So when today's version of you is saying, oh, I don't feel confident and I don't have the knowledge, or I'm not ready, that's okay, because that's normal, because you haven't done it yet. So what we do is we leap forward, because remember, time is just an illusion. We leap forward into the future version of ourselves, and we ask ourselves, well, the future version of me, the me 6 months from now, a year from now, however long in the future you want, who has done this, who has grown the business, who has got the results, who speaks on stage, who writes books, who does all the things that you desire to do, right? Whatever they are for you specifically. You hear me saying these things, but it's whatever it is for you, right? That version of you is super confident, because that version of you has done it again and again and again and again. She has got it down. It's like, this is easy. This is effortless. So you want to take that action. You want to step into, in your imagination, step into that version of you now and act as that version of you right now. So when you press go live, you're not showing up as yourself today. You're showing up as a future version of you. So you're in your power. You're in your flow, because it feels easy and effortless, because you've been doing this. And you might say to yourself, well, Claire, hang on a minute, that just sounds a bit delusional. But you know what? Life is a delusion. Like, our realities are created in our mind. Like, we all see the world that we see and experience because of how we think it, because of our thoughts. And so we get to choose the reality that we're creating. And therefore, we absolutely have the power and the ability to fast forward and to show up as our future selves now, with those beliefs, those thoughts, those feelings, that energy, that belief. I said belief twice. It's a big one. So that's how we do it. Like, that's the space and the energy to put yourself in, so that it feels easy, so that it doesn't feel like a battle. Ask yourself, what is the future version of you doing around this? What would she say? What's that energy? How do you just step into that version of you right now? Faye, tune into your higher self. Yes. Bev, loving this. Thank you, Bev. The one I am becoming. Yes, absolutely. Or sometimes, because there's two ways to think of this, right? This future version of you, is it something that you're becoming? Or is it who you really are that's simply being unleashed? Because I believe that it's actually always who we really are is inside of us. Like, we are us already. We are us the moment we're born. But because of how life works, all these layers are on top of us, and we have to, like, dig our way up and unleash ourselves again and again and again and again. And I think there's maybe no end to that, right? We get to unleash ourselves as many times as we choose, and find the next new level and the next new level in discovering and letting out the real us into the world. So it's stepping into the real version of ourselves, without the limiting beliefs, without the rules, without society's expectations, without the judgment, without all of those things that are going on. Okie dokie, I'm actually going to look at this, because I'm like, what have I talked about? What have I not talked about? What else do I want to say to you? So there was something I wanted to actually do. I don't know where it's on the page. Let's forget that. So what I'd like you to do right now is, like yesterday, I want you to split your page into half. Split it in half. On one side, I want you to think about how does your ego try to limit you when it comes to being visible? How does your ego try to limit you? What are the things that your ego says? And on the other side, I want you to put your higher self. What are the things that your higher self knows to be true about this? So it might be that your ego says, well, I don't know what to say. I can't write a blog post. I can't write an ebook. I can't go live. I can't run a meetup group. I can't do whatever it might be that you want to do, because I don't know what to say. What would your higher self say about that? Give me some examples. Like if your ego is saying, I don't know what to say, what might your higher self say? I'm waiting. I'm like pausing. Tell me, there's lots of you on here. What might your higher self say to your ego saying, don't know what to say, don't know what to say? Are you listening? Are you with me? Am I talking to myself? Come on, Facebook. Come on, Facebook. Everyone's waiting for someone else to put something. Don't wait for someone else. Be the person who does it yourself. This is it. This is about you stepping into it, you unleashing it, you not waiting for someone else, you being the leader, you stepping forwards, you embracing your power. And this is one of the things I was going to talk about, right? In terms of you're welcome, Kat. And it was a perfect comment for you to put because it's one that everyone experiences. So it was brilliant because I think you're not alone in that space. And that's why I use it as an example, because it's absolutely, and I 100% experienced it myself. And when I'm doing something new, I will still experience it myself. What I'm good at though is catching it, not letting it stop me. And that's the secret, right? Because there's always a next level, and there's always going to be something new that we get to do. And yes, we're going to feel uncomfortable, we might be lacking confidence, we might not feel ready, and we just have to get better and better and better at showing up regardless, taking action regardless, diving straight in. Okay, so it might be I'm laughing at the spelling. You can do it. Of course you could do it. You can do it. You always have something to say. Trust you can do this. Yes. Believe me, don't listen to your head. Yes, all of those things. Here's one of the things that I found really interesting, right? And this is a nice way to reframe showing up, talking, being live, or on videos or whatever it might be. When you're meeting friends, before you go for like coffee with friends or a glass of wine out with friends, do you think through what you're going to say? Do you pre-plan it? So yes, you will get ready, like, okay, I'll give you that. You will get dressed up, you will put on your lipstick, you will feel fab probably, but will you be like, oh, okay, so I need to think about what I'm going to say today. I need to talk about this, and I need to tell them about this, and oh god, I want to talk about that thing, but I'm not very clear on it, so maybe I need to just go and Google it a bit more, or maybe I need to sit down and think about it a bit more before I can go and meet them for coffee. No, of course not, right? You go, you meet with your friends, you just in flow, you're in the moment. You absolutely trust that you have something to say in the moment because you've done it your whole life. Actually, the truth is, showing up on video, showing up on lives, writing a blog, my voice is going, it's exactly the same. You're just showing up and talking. It's exactly the same thing, but in our minds we make it something different, but it doesn't have to be. It's a choice. So if instead of thinking of lives, and maybe think about this for a moment, when you think about going live, and we'll use this as an example, but feel free to change this to whatever suits you and your needs. When you think about going live, what's the picture you have in your head? What's the picture and maybe the thoughts that go with going live? Is it things like maybe you see a picture of you talking on the video and no one listening, or you not knowing what to say, or like just what's the picture? Because you'll have a picture, whether you're aware of it or not, you'll have a picture with that thought of going live, or of videoing something, or of creating that content. And then in comparison, I want you to think about the picture in your head of when you're just going to meet like your best friend for coffee or for a glass of wine, even better. What's the difference? When you think about those two pictures, almost hold them up in your mind's eye and think about them. Does one feel warm and one feel cold? Does one feel easy, one feel hard? Is there different expectations around them? Just notice the differences. And then notice how actually there doesn't need to be that difference, because it can be the same. Because you can choose that when you go live, that when you show up, when you share your content, whatever that might be, it's simply like talking to friends. It's simply talking. It's simply letting out whatever is inside of you now. And there's no rules around that. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to sound a certain way. It doesn't have to feel a certain way. And actually, I'd say it's better if it doesn't. Because I'm sure you've noticed, like, automated webinars a couple of years ago were like, they were the hot thing. They still are the hot thing, but people have got much more used to watching them. 4 years ago, if you'd have done an automated webinar, let's say for coaching, for getting coaching clients, and you'd have put it out on Facebook, you'd have got conversion. So you'd have got people signing up for that really cheaply, super, super cheap. If you do that today, the chances are it's probably going to be 4, 5 times the amount per conversion. Guess why? Because people have got so used to having that content, it doesn't feel as valuable anymore. If you can show up just being you, you are one of the few. I hate to say this because this is totally stealing this saying from someone else, but lots of you know that I follow Katrina Ruth, and her thing is be the 1% of the 1%. You are like the 1%. And if you're willing to show up as you, without the mask, without the BS, without the limitations, without the internal rules, you are absolutely the 1% of the 1%. So people will start to stand up and notice. And this is a thing that switchers, there are two things that make the difference to people starting to notice you and starting to notice your message. One, it's being visible, it's being somewhat consistent with it. It hasn't got to be every single day, but somewhat consistent. Being visible, being somewhat consistent. The second part is being in your truth. It's saying what you stand for. It's not being vanilla. It's daring to give yourself that permission to say what you really truly believe. It's daring to show the world who you are. Like, you'll have seen a couple of weeks ago, I wrote a post in this group about orgasms, right? I was on holiday. It's what was going through my mind. I wrote it out as a post. I shared it into the group. And loads of people responded to it. Loads of people. There were a couple who were like, oh, there must be something wrong with you. There were loads who were like, yes, oh my God, thank God someone's saying this. Because when we speak our truth, and it can't be forced, like it can't be like, oh, I've got to find something shocking to share or whatever. That doesn't work. People will see through that. It's got to be real. It's got to be when I'm just in my truth, when I'm just speaking what I'm thinking, what I'm experiencing, what's happening to me in my life. That's when people really connect with it. And that's when people will start taking more notice. I absolutely promise you, because the vanilla is not the thing. The vanilla is boring and it can feel scary. And you might be saying to yourself, well, I don't like the conflict, but you can simply choose that you have no space for that conflict. You're not interested in the conflict. You're not buying into the conflict. You're simply standing up, sharing your message, sharing what you believe to be true. Because at the end of the day, that's all we can do. All we can do is convey our version of the truth, what we truly believe in. And those people who are on the same page as us, those people who are meant to be in our space, will absolutely love it and adore it and want more from you. And those who don't, they will go elsewhere, especially if you just make that decision that you have no time, no energy, no effort for the conflict. It's not even a thing. It's not even a thing. And I've heard lots of coaches talk about having conflict, having nasty messages, having things like this. I can hand on my heart tell you, until now, it hasn't happened. And I don't think that's because I'm doing something different. I actually think it's because it's not in my, it's not there. It's like, if people don't like me, they just won't show up. They just won't listen. It's as simple as that. Because you get to choose your beliefs around it. So, pulling it all together, let me see what everyone's written. Believe me, don't listen to your head. Trust that you will know what to say. It might not make sense, but believe in me. Speak from your higher self. It's not about you. I feel I have to be the expert, but should probably just think of myself as contributing to a bigger conversation. Here's the thing. You are the expert. You are the expert. Own being the expert, but notice what rules are you putting on yourself around that. You can be the expert and be you. Right? Because you are the expert. You're the expert in how you deliver it. Nobody else is you. Like, everyone else is taken. You are you. Only you can deliver it in your way. Only you can teach it in your way. Only you can create the content in your way. So you are the expert of what you do. You are the expert of what you do. And that does not need anything else. That does not need high heels and lipstick. And it doesn't need slides and all the rest of it. Like, you are the expert of what you're delivering, because nobody else does it the same way as you. And owning that can be really freeing. You are the expert by being you, and you deliver it in whatever way feels really good for you to deliver it, because if you do that, that's probably going to feel like a really good way for other people to consume it. Because actually, way more important than what you're saying or even how you're saying it is the energy behind it. It's, am I excited to do this? Am I in flow with this? Does this feel like I'm speaking for my soul? Am I in just that place of like, boom, 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 it is all just happening, this feels fabulous? Or am I in that place of, oh God, I'm not sure if I've got to look professional. What will they say? What will they think about me? How do I do this? Oh, maybe I need to do that. Maybe like energetically, the difference is huge. And I really believe that at the end of the day, it's the energy that makes the difference. It's the energy that changes the results. And I think that that's the case no matter what you're doing. So get your energy aligned, get your energy into that place where you feel really inspired. That inspired bit is key. I really think it's important, because when we're building heart-centered businesses, when we want to make a difference, when we're working from that place of purpose and passion, damn, it's got to feel passionate. It's the passion, it's the inspiration that really makes a difference. That's what brings all the energy. So if there was one thing, one like magic thing that I could tell you that made the differences in my business, it's when I decided that I was not interested in the rules. I was not interested in how other people were doing it. I was not interested in having to follow some bloody cookie cutter approach or formula. That was not for me. I wanted to do it my way, and I wanted to just do the things that felt really damn good. And some of those things might have felt hard because like, oh shit, I've got to learn how to do Facebook ads in order to be able to do that, or I've got to be able to do this in order to be able to do that. But the big picture really excites me. So every single time when I'm creating a new program, I feel into it. I feel so aligned with it. It's like, this is the thing. This is perfect. This is having everything. This is what I'm creating now. And I'm 100% in that space. The new mastermind that I'm launching now, 100% in that space. I am so excited about it. It is going to be absolutely amazing. The last mastermind was incredible. And there's so much I've learned from it. There's so much new stuff to therefore put in the next one. It's like a whole new experience, because I know that I'm forever growing and forever expanding, and that every single new thing I'm putting out is reaching a new level. It's the next level, it's the next level, it's the next level. So I feel good about it. I feel inspired about it. And that's what you need to do too. You need to be in that place of inspiration. You need to be in that place of not necessarily belief, because it's okay to worry. It's okay to have that question mark in, oh gosh, will this work? Or will people sign up? Or will people want it? It's pretty normal for your ego to kick in with some of that. But beyond that, beneath that, you've got to just have that feeling of like, yes, I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to unleash this into the world. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Thank you for joining me. What I would like you to put, so today's little challenge on this is go into the Facebook group and tell me how you want to be more visible. In what way? Is it by doing the posts? Is it by doing the lives? Is it by doing the meetup? If you're just going to commit to one thing today, I'm like, come on, Claire, what is it? What is it you're asking them to do? If you're going to commit to one thing today around visibility, what would it be? That's the question. If you were committing to one thing to improve your visibility today, what would it be? Go and comment on it in the group, or just tell me something like, from this training today, what's come up for you? What are you committed to doing? What are you going to change? What are you going to allow? What are you going to give yourself permission to do? Go and post something, because it's taking what you've listened to now, it's taking it to that next level, it's building that neurological pathway in your mind, so that this new road becomes easier and easier and easier to travel down. It can become faster and more in flow every single time that you do it. Thank you, everyone, for being here live with me. Oh, can I ask you, I want to ask you all a favor. Those of you who've worked with me before, Kez, you're on here. Hi, Kez. Those of you who've worked with me before, my Facebook page, where is it? Facebook page has changed. Facebook has changed it. And it now says you have no reviews. There wasn't an option for reviews before. If you've worked with me, I would massively appreciate it if you would hop onto my Facebook page and give me a little review, because it's changed it. It looks like nobody likes me. But I would massively appreciate that. Or just hop on there and make a comment. How are you finding this challenge? What are you getting from it? What's like one thing that you can really take it and implement? Like whatever. Go and have a gorgeous, fabulous, beautiful day. Shine your light. You are perfectly imperfect. You have everything within you now. Allow yourself, give yourself permission, take off the mask, be more you, let it out there. Even if you don't know what the heck you're going to say, just press go and something will happen, exactly in the same way that when you're meeting friends, when you meet someone in the street, conversation just flows. Sending you all lots and lots of love. What have you put? Getting on a Facebook Live tonight, Kat. Awesome. Good. Orla, thanks, Claire. Getting my thinking cap on. Fabulous. Clara, loving this. Awesome. Faye, people are drawn to our energy. It says 8 on there. People 8 our energy. People are drawn to our energy. They absolutely are. Right. Sending you lots of love. I'm going. Go be fabulous. Go shine brightly. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, what day is it tomorrow? Wednesday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, 10:30, same place, same time. Come and join me. Bye.